give my opinions on everything that's going on in the Nintendo scene and in the gaming scene. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about Nintendo and E3 2019. Yes, we're talking about E3, even though it is a little bit more than a month away at this point. But Nintendo has officially started up their website, so it's about time we get on the hype train, if I am really being honest. And yeah, it's really the hype train's already been here, because boy, Nintendo has a lot of titles to put out, or Nintendo has a lot of titles in their back pocket at this point, that they could possibly reveal, from the new Luigis Mansion game, Astral Chain, Animal Crossing, Bayonetta. There's just so many games. Even Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yeah, there's so many games that Nintendo could be talking about at E3. But I think there's a lot of stuff that needs to come into question at this point, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to be really important this E3. So yeah, I just really quickly wanted to talk about some of the stuff and really just give my opinions on it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started and jump right into this video. The first really big thing to talk about is something that happened a really long time ago. So back in the latter half of 2018, Sony, aka the people behind PlayStation, announced that they would not be at E3 2019 this year, and that's actually kind of sad, because there's a lot of titles that I feel could be very big if PlayStation or if Sony were to reveal them at E3, and also it kind of shifts a little bit of focus away from them for a little bit, but at the same time, it opens up a huge opportunity. Sony is really missing out on a lot of opportunities. I think that with Sony not going to this year's E3, Nintendo's really going to try to show like everything they have, and they're really going to try to wow us this year. At least that's what I think. And they definitely have like the material to prove it. Like I said before, they have a lot of stuff that could potentially be coming out, and heck, there could actually be even more. We don't know at this point, so I am really excited to see what Nintendo brings to the table. But anyway, I think there is something else that needs to be brought up to the forefront, and that is, what is the main thing that may be used as like the central point for Nintendo this year. Last year it was Super Smash Bros, because obviously that was like the biggest game that came out last year. That game of course got a lot of hype because of course it's Smash Bros. So yeah, that's what got the main stage last year. Year before it was Super Mario Odyssey, of course another really good game, and before that another really good game, Zelda Breath of the Wild. So Nintendo really has this sort of streak where they really have been sort of putting their like main games as like a central focal point of their like booth or display. And honestly, this year is going to be a little bit tough to kind of think of which game is going to be the main focal point, because again, there's a lot of really big titles. Like, I didn't even mention Super Mario Maker 2, even though that has way less of a shot of being the main central point of this, because it comes out like that month. So I really don't think that it has a chance of becoming the main focal point of Nintendo's booth. But what I do see having a little bit more traction, and what I do see becoming the main central point is either Luigi's Mansion 3 or Animal Crossing, which both have a lot of hype around them because they're titles that people have been wanting to see on the Switch for the longest time, and they're finally getting here. And I just feel like Nintendo would really want to kind of push up the hype between those two games, especially since both of them haven't had like home console games in a while, even though the Switch is a home and a portable console, but both of them haven't had home console like titles in a while. Animal Crossing hasn't had a home title game since Wild World on the Wii, and the Luigi's Mansion hasn't had a home console game since all the way back to the original Luigi's Mansion. So it has been quite a while since both of those games have been on a home console, and I think it is a good opportunity for Nintendo to really showcase what's going on between those two games. So yeah, I'm really hoping that either one of those two games gets pushed as the main focus. Because I'm really hoping more for Animal Crossing because we know a little bit less about that, and I really want to know more about that. Anyway, I will be perfectly fine with either one of those two like being the main focus for Nintendo this year. Lastly, I'm going to do a few like early predictions on what I think Nintendo may show at their E3 presentation. So first off, we definitely know that I think that probably we are going to be seeing Animal Crossing, most definitely, because it's scheduled to come out this year right now. I really see Nintendo wanting to push out more information about that, and also Luigi's Mansion, like I said before. So I see those two definitely being showed off at E3. I'm also seeing Sword and Shield being showed off at E3 as well, because that is the Pokemon release this year, and I really am liking what I saw from the Pokemon Direct a month or two back. So I am really hoping that Nintendo and the Pokemon group really show off more of what is going to be going on in the new region. Also, something that I'm predicting is, I know this is kind of a long shot because development for this was rescheduled, but I'm predicting that we might see Metroid Prime 4. I don't know, because again, development was restarted on that, but I'm really hoping we get a chance to see that, because it's been 2 years since that game has been announced. But again, we'll see. Something that's really unlikely is, I think we might see some Super Mario Maker 2. That it really depends on when Super Mario Maker 2 gets released, because I think, along with a lot of fans out there, that Super Mario Maker 2 should have made its way to the Switch a while ago. And the original Mario Maker is one of those games on the Wii U that should have flocked more people to it, because it is a really good, in my opinion, it's a good game. It's one of the games that really drew people to the Switch, even though, in my opinion, it probably should have worked better than it did. But lastly, I'm predicting a bunch of indie titles, because of course Nintendo loves their indie titles. Nintendo loves their indie titles. They do indie showcases every single like few months, so it wouldn't be very surprising to me if they showed off some indie stuff. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for this year's E3. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Nintendo has in store for us. If you guys are also looking forward to what Nintendo has in store, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and also turn notifications to stay up to date with my posts. And also, leave your thoughts in the comments down below on what you think Nintendo is going to be showing off at E3. And until next time, I have been Koops, you have been awesome, take care, and goodbye.